Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We've got an awesome lineup for you today. As always, Harry Glanz on the Zoomcast. Good morning, Harry.
Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, everybody. Looks like a beautiful day out. We got some major knowledge to throw down at people today. Appraisers, attorneys. Harvey, we got them all today.
We're going to hit you with 1 hour of real estate and how it all intertwines with the world of divorce, actually, today. A little sticky situation there, but also appraisals, and talk about two sticky situations. Two things that definitely can bring some stress to a family and create some what we call always moving parts. Hey, we're going to take all your calls here for 1 hour, 248-539-9797. We got Pat Caputo following up with Sports on Tiger Baseball later in the day. But first, the Hardcore Mortgage Show. And again, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. So if you want to call us at the office, we've got a whole lineup there. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You're going to save a lot of money. And of course, Harry, we will throw in refinance, cash out refinance, land contract, tax, everything mortgages and real estate. And let's welcome our guest to the show. Good morning, Brent Bowyer, first from ADAM, American Divorce Association for Men.
Good morning, Harvey. How you doing today?
Fantastic, Brent. So great to have you back. You know, Brent, you were on literally, if we've been on for 21 years, I'm going to say 17, 18 years ago, you were on with us quite a few times back in the day.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while, but it's, I'm always in touch with you guys, of course. And, you're not just another pretty face. You guys are the real deal. You've helped me out a lot.
And we always appreciate you referring some business our way. And of course, we always like to help people out to the maximum and make sure they save money and save some stress out there. The gurus of real estate, of appraisals out there, Mike Tomcyzk, Paramount Appraisers. Hey, Mike, we'll welcome you to the show now also. Oh, boy.
Hey, Harvey, Michael was pretty jacked up the last show that we had. We really talked about appraisals on. So Michael texts me, he says, I got to be on the show. I said, Mike, no better person to have on the show than you. So this is going to be a fiery show, Harvey. Brett.
We'll keep it going here in the right direction, Brent. There's no doubt that one of the major things, families you're married, your major asset is typically your house. And of course, that's why we thought it'd be a great idea to bring the appraiser on with us today. The house is the number one asset. We got to put a value on that house. So a lot of times that's the most important asset that families have. And then, of course, the 401ks. Brent, that appraisal really plays a significant role in divorce. And if you could go on and give us a little intro of what's going on in the world of divorce here in 2021 after the pandemic.
Oh yeah, for sure. So it's busy, which is good and bad. People they're doing divorces, they're doing all the usual stuff, and the good thing that I like with houses is we're back to the days of people have equity, and that makes it much easier. The world of housing is hard enough without divorces, and divorces is hard enough without houses, and it was really tough back when you had no options. At least now people have options. They can sell their house. One of them could keep it. That helps a lot.
That's a huge point. We breezed over it on the podcast the other day. It's a huge point that what other problems did you have back 10 years ago? Right. Families couldn't get divorced. They were stuck with each other. But we thought the pandemic was going to slow your business down a little bit. Weren't people supposed to be having babies and growing their families? I know Mike Tomcyzk's got like 4 or 5 girls over there.
And we have 3. I have 3.
Okay. Won't count that. But there's no doubt, Brent, that we thought that the pandemic was going to slow that world down. But boy, equity plays such a significant role. And as you mentioned, families now can send an appraiser out. And tell us a little bit about that, Brent, because it is, they'll start with that largest asset, the house. Usually it's just not one appraiser that goes out there. Usually both sides have their own appraiser.
Right. Yeah. And if we can get ahead of it, the name of the game is settlement, work out a deal. If you can get one appraiser and then we know where we're going, you get 2 different appraisals on your typical home. Mike can tell you, they're probably going to be similar anyways. And we try to, despite what it might sound like what ADAM does, we really try to set people where they're not fighting about things. You want to set the tone, set reasonable expectations and go into it. And so if you can get on the same page and say, hey, let's use this appraiser. He's a reputable person. He's not going to take sides. He's going to just hit exactly what the number should be. You're going into it and you're not set up for failure. You're more likely to reach an agreement. It's one thing out of the way, and it can be the biggest asset, especially now. Prices are going up and equity's growing, and you got to figure out what to do with these houses. It's the biggest thing on everybody's mind in a divorce, for sure.
Lawyers and mediation can cost a whole lot of money. So there's no doubt if you can get in front of some lawyers like yourself, Brent, who you guys are peacekeepers, peacemakers, really get the families out in front of the problems, write it all down. And if they can figure out a lot of these things ahead of time, it can save them a lot of money with their lawsuits or with their divorce settlement with their spouses.
Yeah, for sure. It's money well spent. You get an expert early on, get good advice. The best thing we can do is get somebody early in the process and set expectations. You get down the wrong road. You think it's going to go one way, and maybe what you had in mind was never going to happen. And that's hard to change that after the fact. You really, that's the name of the game, is knowing what you're expecting early on, what you have coming. And that includes, valuing assets and taking a real picture, a real good look at the financial picture and get a sense of what you got. Absolutely.
Mike Tomcyzk, appraisers, plays, as we say, a significant role in all real estate transactions. Of course, it's the collateral. You guys are putting the number on the collateral. That's the most important part for many of us. You show up to the house there, Mike. Now we got things that are a little different. What's this house worth? It's funny. The person who wants to probably keep the house doesn't want the house to be worth as much. Isn't that typically the case?
Oh, yeah, that's how it plays. Yeah, that's no doubt about it. The last couple that I have done, there were more than one appraiser involved in the situation. In fact, the last two of them I was on site with the other side's appraiser. And, we're using a different form too. It's not the same form that you guys at Capital are used to, that 1004 form. It's a general purpose form. It's different. We're allowed to do more of a range too. I mean, you're going to give an actual appraisal value, but there's more of a range. And typically my understanding of it, and Brent can speak to this more, is that if you're getting two appraisals, you're probably going to split the difference, is the way that I always understood. Is that correct, Brent?
Oh yeah, you would. And I think you really, if you can, you get an attorney you can work with on a divorce case, you're just going to go with one appraiser. You make a list, pick one person, get one number, and avoid one less fight, hopefully.
What's the biggest difference? I know Harry wants to jump in. Let me just jump in this with what's the largest difference, Brent, you've seen, or Mike, you've heard, you got the phone call back, a percentage, were you guys 10% apart? Have you ever been 100,000 apart on an appraised value of a house?
Well, 100,000 could actually be 10%, but I know what you're saying. But I do know what you're saying. And I don't really get the call. I've never had someone say, hey, you need to defend this. They typically understand what's going on. And they do their own thing. I never got the call and said, hey, you guys are way off. What's going on here? Never before. So seems to be all right so far.
Terry Glange, you know something about this divorce stuff?
Yeah, a little bit about it. I talk to a lot of attorneys. I know a lot of attorneys. However, is that everybody out there has to understand that when you're getting an appraisal for a divorce case, or you're getting an appraisal from a lender, from a mortgage banker, they're different types of appraisals. We cannot use the document that Mike Tomcyzk and Brett use in a divorce case. We have to use one Michael referenced it as a 1004 for a single family. There are lending documents that we need, and Mike has to prepare an appraisal on those documents that are Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and mortgage banking approved. So when people walk in our office and say, here's what my house is worth, I just settled on my divorce and I'm staying in the house, we have to get another appraisal on the house. And listen, we don't get the money. The lender doesn't get the money for the appraisal. Okay. So it goes something like this. We need what we need. They need what they need in the legal world. And it's often two appraisals, totally different nature. As Mike Tomcyzk said, there's a wider scope that they can go out and use. We as a lender have to take them. And Mike, you'll explain the guidelines, but it's usually the best similar properties within a mile radius of the subject property. We're going to get into all that, but everybody out there, it's a lot different for a divorce than it is when you just go to a lender and try to obtain a mortgage. That's the point.
All right, we got tons to share with you. We're just walking into this show here, 9:10. What a gorgeous morning. The sun is shining here in Metro Detroit, May 1st, 2021. When we come back, questions about divorce, appraisals, real estate, mortgages, all of that and more. 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, welcome back to show 915. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. You will call and deal with experts. 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's 1-800-569-7283. The experts in the real estate mortgage world. There's a big difference out there. Hey, Harry, millions of people have these new real estate licenses and loan officer licenses. I've been talking to them. It's not pretty. We'll get into that maybe a little bit later when we hardcore things up a little bit. Want to go back to Brent Bowyer. Of course, Brent's joining us from American Divorce Association for Men. And Brent, one of the things out there that often is, guys are going through these, women too, they're going through these breakups. They're scary. They're sad for if you got a family and kids, but they want to buy another house. They want to go right into another fire. Give me a suggestion on that. Can it be done? First of all, let's just use me for an example. If I'm breaking up, I'm divorcing my wife. Can I go out before the divorce is final and go ahead and buy another house?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's one of those things where we always want to say the short answer is not a good idea, but there's a way, and some people just, this is their plan and they're rolling ahead and they want the proper advice. You can do it. You'd want a pending divorce already, because that's going to give you the ability to do a court order, a temporary agreement. And that's something you're going to be able to count on. That you can take to the bank, literally. You get something in writing. I'm buying this house. My wife has no claim to it, and everybody's on the same page with that. And then you can navigate that water and get through kind of tricky business and make it happen. But it's fraught with problems. You need an expert,
Yeah, that's a separate, you call those the separation agreements. And like you said, you have to already, if you filed for divorce, then you can deal with the court system and get the judge to go ahead and okay a separation agreement. Again, many divorces are amicable. I mean, I'd like to see more and hear about that more often. Is that the case, Brent?
Yeah, they are. We certainly push for that. We want realistic expectations, which is going to lead to more likely to be able to get a settlement and get an agreement on things. And absolutely, it's the name of the game. The more you can work out, you don't want some stranger telling you what to do with your property or your kids or whatever. You want to work it out, and that's the name of the game: compromise.
Let's move off to Mike Tomcyzk over in the appraisal world. Hey, Mike, the assessment on the house is really interesting to me. It's obviously the comparable sales in the neighborhood, your judgments involved in the condition of the property. But how about this one? Current trends. I mean, is the fact that there are no homes, is that now playing a part? And hey, listen, Mr. Appraiser, the home's going to be up 9% next year. Bump it up.
Yes. So that's a great question. Of course, the fact that there's no inventory right now, it doesn't play a part into my appraisal. It does play a part into the offering price. So, but yes, the current trend does play a part. Now, we don't do forecasting. I'm not looking ahead in the future and saying, well, in the future, it's going to go up 10%. We're not allowed to do that. However, we do look behind us and see, let's see, we've increased 9% in the past, year. So then we'll do what's called a timeline adjustment. Okay. So yes, if I'm using a sale that's 5 months old, there's going to be, oh yeah, that's not me. Okay. So there's going to be, of course, a timeline adjustment. It's going to increase the value, of course. And we do that. Yes.
We're going to get into pools and lakes and all that other fun stuff that could increase the value. Let's go up to some calls here. We've got Justin calling in. I like as the callers start rolling in. 248-539-9797. Good question, Justin. Good morning. Looking to remodel your house and you're looking for bids for the project. Justin, tell me a little bit more what you got going on. Oh, we don't have them? All right, we lost them. That's okay. Let's move on here. Is Lisa up on yet? Okay, in a minute, we're going to go to Lisa, 248-539-9797 for all of your calls this morning. If you got mortgage real estate, you might be having a little situation with the divorce, you got appraisal questions, definitely give us a call there. Let's roll back. Hey, Harry, you want to come back into the conversation?
I'd rather go to the caller, but Harvey, I will tell you this, that, what Brett's saying, when people are getting divorced, it's the old 80-20 rule. I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on the radio. Brett's an attorney. 80% of the people out there are not going to go ahead and try to muddy up the waters, have a lot of moving parts, start doing major transactions, move money around in the middle of a divorce. There are 20% of the people that will do a little bit crazy things, but it just hurts everything involved. Not only the family structure, not only what their attorney's trying to do for them, but as a mortgage lender, it's really hard to go ahead and have somebody buy a property in the middle of a divorce, because you know what? You need things that are written and stamped by the court in order to go ahead and go through with that transaction. So the old 80-20 rule applies. 80% of the people are probably doing everything okay. 20%, they want what they want and they want it right now. So they're going to go off and have a lot of moving parts in every part of that divorce. Not just one, but every part.
Brent, there's no doubt, man, keeping things, classy, not messing it up, not muddying the waters of your situation you already have on. You stated already, you can go buy another house if you want. One of the things is, though, sometimes the spouse or one of the spouses might be using that child support or alimony as income. And in the mortgage world, we have to be able to show that they've been receiving the income for at least 6 months in some cases. And then more importantly, that they're going to be receiving this income for another 3 years. So it's sort of an interesting thing, Brent. A lot of families have X amount of dollars coming in, but sometimes we're sort of shocked that maybe they don't qualify for the mortgage. Where is that, guideline? I mean, you understand it, that when you're going through a divorce, you really got to get the financial people involved, the lenders involved, especially if the families are talking about refinancing this house down the road. All right, here we got some callers that are definitely trying to get in here. 248-539-9797. We got Joel with a divorce housing question, so we like that one. Let's roll off to Joel. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Brent? Yeah, I'm sorry. So we have an audio thing going on. So if the house is worth 400,000, let's say the spouse wants to keep the house, the lady in this situation, and the other person's going to move out, and they're going to take half the equity. They owe 300 on it now. The house is worth 4. You'd think you just split $50,000 worth of the equity there. Can the other person pay the other person off? What typically happens there? Yeah, in that case, Joel, actually, you can only do 80% cash out on a first mortgage lien, but a lot of times you'll see a family dive in and go get a home equity loan. I hate to see it. Or sometimes, and Brent, I think you'll agree with this, sometimes if they're a little bit older, they'll have some 401k money where they're able to reach into some of their assets, and due to the divorce, they're able to pay a spouse off. And can you use the 401k money to do that? Typically, you can't go in there, but a divorce allows you to go in there and sometimes divide 401k money and IRA money and such.
Yeah, for sure. You can offset with other assets.
Thanks, Joel.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Yep.
Brent. What was that?
Yeah, so I was gonna say you can offset it with other assets. Usually there's at least a 401k or something else sitting there that we can tap into if there's not a way to refinance the house and get more money. I owe my wife 50 grand and can't come up with more than 20 or something. There's usually a way to make that happen. And again, you'd want to know that early on. If that's not something that's going to work, we would not be working this whole deal out in the first place. You'd look at just maybe selling a house if you had to.
All righty. Let's roll back into a little bit of purchase conversation. Of course, home buying season is off and running. And we've nonstop talked about it with every real estate agent on here, the multiple bids and how to get your bid accepted. When we come back, we'll dive in a little bit more real estate mortgages. We'll tie it all in together. 248-539-9797. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
East Michigan, it's a Hardcore Mortgage Show. Again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Call us 1-800-LOW-RATE. Get that refinance done. Cash out refinance. Use the equity to pay off your house. Build new additions to your house. We got a couple calls about that coming in too, adding value to your home and things you can do. If you can't find another house in today's market with a limited supply, a lot of families now are looking back and saying, you know what, maybe I'm going to stay after all and add that additional square footage or finish the walkout basement, things of this nature, and different things that can add value. We're going to talk about all hour. Let's move off to Anthony, though. Anthony, thanks for calling in this morning. We're going to go to all our callers first here. You're saying adding value. How much would it be? What are you going to do to your house? Mm-hmm. Mike Tomcyzk.
It's a great question, but it's not that easy in the sense that every market and every single specific subject is different. So you'd have to go into that particular market and see if there is an actual value added for a bedroom in the basement for that market. Now, I will tell you right now, it is very rare, if ever, that I have found a value added for a bedroom in a basement. Okay, so typically if you're adding an egress in there, especially because that can get expensive, you're not going to get your value back. In fact, it brings up a great topic too. When you're doing any type of home improvement right now with the cost of everything, don't think you're going to get a dollar for dollar return. Okay, that's not going to happen. So, you should really do things that are going to make you happy. That's what I would say.
Yeah, say anything underground is not considered. So again, if you build 4 bedrooms in your basement, Anthony, you don't all of a sudden turn your 3-bedroom house into a 7-bedroom house. Anything below grade, the appraisers do not consider. They consider it now as a finished basement or a finished basement with a egress window and maybe a bathroom and some other amenities down there. But again, it's a finished basement. Anything underground in Michigan, it doesn't consider itself as a bathroom or a bedroom. So you got to definitely put that, but enjoy it. But definitely enjoy it. And where do you live now? Where do you live? Fantastic. I mean, it's a great area, keeps growing. And, as all the agents will tell you, if you want to sell your house, just put up a white flag outside of your house. The house will be sold in a day. So consider doing some home improvements that you'll really enjoy, and good luck to you. All right. Thanks for the call. Often we get those calls. Hey guys, I'm going to, Mike Tomcyzk, that's a big one. Paramount Appraisals. I'm finishing my basement. I'm going to throw in a bedroom, a bathroom. Hey man, is my house going up 40? Now it's a 4-bedroom house. Is that true, Mike?
No, again, it can't just say no across the board. There are some markets where that may actually contribute to the value. So every single one is different. However, I've done, 7,000 plus appraisals, and I've never, I don't think, ever found value in a basement bedroom. Also, by the way, I just want to point out there, because the caller was great, a walkout basement. Because it's a walkout, does that add square footage? Does that add a bathroom count in your count? Does that add a bedroom? No, it does not. Okay, because you said underground, right, Harvey? And that makes everyone think, well, if it's a walkout, maybe it's not underground. It's still a basement, and we have standards that we have to go by, and that it does not count for square footage, and it does not count for your bedroom count.
The rule is all 4 sides of this basement all have to be above ground. If any of it is on a hill and it's underground, it's considered a walkout. It is not considered part of the square footage on the appraisal. But as you said, definitely has some value. And depending upon what the neighborhood's doing, it could have even more value. Great stuff. 248-539-9797. We always like, hey, let's roll off to Justin. He called back. Justin, one more try there. Go ahead, sir, with your question. Go ahead. Yeah, we can. I'll repeat the question too. Go ahead. This sounds like a public adjuster question. This is an insurance adjuster telling you this? I'm going to refer you to a public adjuster after the show. I'm going to have my buddy give you a phone call. I know.
Well, wait, I have a question. The question goes something like this. Did you get the check from the insurance company yet? Okay, so then don't you get to pay the contractor? And if the contractor gave you a bid and you've got the check, then you pay, what he's supposed to get.
Unless his
sounds
name's
like
on
to
the
me
check
he's jacking the price up on you.
Right. Well, you picked them. I don't, I'm going to get more people involved in this. I would tell them, hey, this is not the way it's going to go down. I got to tell you this, Justin. I know you're going through a lot of stuff. I had my sister out in Arizona had the same thing, water damage. Boy, it took a while to get the right contractor. You're already on your second contractor. There's a lot of moving parts in that. And then you got a baby on the way and a wife at home. Man, we're going to send you the highest prayers that we possibly can send you today. We're all going to be on our hands and knees and begging that you get some mercy. But no doubt, I'll get you a public adjuster to give you a call. These are questions that I think we want to run by someone who's gone through this back and forth with fire damage or water damage. So thank you for the call. I appreciate it. All right, try to get the right people to call them back again. We're not the experts on everything, but we are today on appraisals, divorce, mortgages, and real estate. 248-539-9797. We'll take all your calls as we continue this gorgeous morning here, doing our mortgage show. A couple different things that come up. Mike Tomcyzk, I want to break back into just a little bit about the appraisal stuff there. Always the condition of the property. And as you mentioned a little bit on the break, a lot of us, we want to overlook what our neighborhood has, we want to overlook what our neighborhood is selling for and just focus on the most expensive house and sort of compare our house to that house. That's not really a good way to fly.
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you for teaming me up with that. That is beautiful. Yes, guys, this is the most important thing out there. Do not, and I repeat, do not overlook the more comparable sales, like the ones that just happened in your neighborhood that are exactly like your house, to go out there and get something that just recently sold that's a mile and a half away that's different than your home. Okay. Do not overlook sales. That is the number one problem we're having right now with these values. If people think that it's worth something because someone somewhere sold a house and they think that, oh, well, if they sold it for that, mine is worth this. What is the most similar homes to yours, the most similar properties, I should say, to yours? What are they selling for?
Well, it sure seems like it's going up, up, and up. There's no end to it. Hey, Mike, what about this? The cost of lumber, it's gone through the roof. The average cost of a home is about almost two times more on the lumber side, the materials. I talked to my brother-in-law who runs a door company, architectural door and millwork. And he says just getting his hands on the materials, the raw materials. And it could be, the hinges even that could be coming over from overseas. So, are you guys playing a little bit of this of what it would cost to sort of rebuild a house into your appraisers?
Well, that's also another great question. I will tell you there's a replacement and a reproduction cost. That's the cost approach to value. We do not actually do that. We're not allowed to for the mortgage lending business anyways. You guys want to know the market value of the home, not what it's going to cost to reproduce it. So if we were allowed to use that more, it would help these builders. I just did one for a builder right here. I'm not going to even say the city or anything. And it was significantly lower than what they had sold it for. They said, well, how are we supposed to sell these homes if the cost of them is way more? Well, I don't know the answer to that, but the fact of the matter is it's very difficult to build a new home because of the cost of construction right now. And we are not allowed to do replacement or reproduction cost for your appraisal value for a mortgage though.
Not at all. All right. On the line with us, Brent Bowyer from ADAM, American Divorce Association for Men. We brought on Mike Tomcyzk, Paramount Appraisals, talking about home values and all different things that come in. If you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. We'll take all your calls here up until 10 o'clock. And of course, Pat Caputo comes in with sports. We always say in our industries and different industries, you don't know what you don't know until you don't know. And there's no doubt about it, getting more experts involved in your transaction, whether you're buying, selling, or even appraising your house or going through this divorce, as we're talking about this morning here. There's a lot of different things to know. And we got some great local people here. Again, whether you're getting a mortgage, call Capital Mortgage Funding, and of course, a divorce and different things out there. We can refer you to the top-notch people in the area. And as Brent Bowyer mentioned earlier, Brent, you still there? There you are.
Yeah.
We can hear you loud and clear, Brent. Just getting to sit down with someone. I mean, just the initial phone call to you guys, and it could be a woman even. You guys deal with women also, but a lot of the guys out there, again, sports talk here, got a lot of guys, things happen in relationships. I don't know what the stats are, but something like 50% of the people don't end up staying together. So go ahead and meet the guy and meet you guys at the office, sit down, break down some things. It doesn't have to be a war zone. And that's the one thing, I went through one that wasn't a war zone. So I'm hoping that you guys can really stress that to some of the folks out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's all about planning, right? Just like everything else, you want to know what you're expecting. We're looking at, are you living together? Is somebody going to move out? Has a divorce been filed? Do I need to file first? There's all those kind of preliminary questions. We try to get all that out of the way, and hopefully we're talking to somebody early on. That's always best. Sometimes not. Sometimes they call us way in. We can deal with that too. But we love to be able to plan, just like everybody else on here with us. You love to be able to plan. If you could do it your way, you can save all the trouble, save a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sorry to say that so many of these relationships do go south, but no matter what, you still have a life to live. You have family and kids. And the pandemic, Brent, I'm thinking brought on some new challenges for you guys. There was definitely a situation where you didn't really want the kids going back and forth like you would in a situation with child custody.
Yeah, it did. It brings on a lot of unique challenges. Everybody at home, everybody working from home. The questions about moving out, increase 100-fold. Instead of, I can't be around there anymore. It's like, I really can't be around this house anymore, driving each other crazy, working from home. I'm living from home. It creates a lot of new, unique issues for sure.
All right, a couple of things I want to get into. All veterans out there, Capital Mortgage is your place for a mortgage. If you've served our country, we want to serve to you. Definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding for all your VA purchase needs. We're getting them done in less than 30 days. If you need a VA cash out refinance up to 100%, give us a call. We've got all the veterans programs out there. 1-800-LOW-RATE for all you veterans. We'll be right back right after this quick break. 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
finally pops out here, and all we can do is brag about it. But go out there and enjoy. It's in the 60s today, going up to the 70s tomorrow. Chance to rain tonight. Go out there and do your thing. Get your mulch down. Make your house pretty. Clean it up first. Get some fertilizer down. Cut the grass. Do all those fun things. I do it. I don't know. I'm always out there doing this stuff. And again, I think you can find some enjoyment in and some peace and solitude. So go out there and definitely enjoy your home. You got to the Hardcore Mortgage Show here, again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We brought on some special guests today, Brent Bowyer, ADAM, American Divorce Association for Men, giving us some great information. Call Adam all week long. Brent and his whole staff there, they're just great people. You can just Google the number. Again, we're not confused with all the numbers out there, but definitely look them up and find out how they can help you with your tougher situation out there. And again, Mike, you can do some private appraisers, but of course, lenders do call you. So Mike's a little bit different, Paramount Appraisals. If you do want to get in touch with them, you can call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll hook you up. Sometimes people just want to know, hey, what's my house worth in today's marketplace, Harry? Because again, you might want to put a plan together, Harry. A lot of guys, and we're starting to see it in our office. I heard you mention it to one of your clients yesterday. We are doing a lot of Florida properties and vacation homes across the United States, between here and Florida, anywhere up and down the Carolinas, out to Arizona and California and Colorado. Harry, people are buying homes all across the United States now.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember this. And we talked about in the last segment that, and Brett's on, Mike's on. What we try to do is set people up for success. Whether you're going through a divorce or you're buying or selling a home, it's going to come and go. It's going to pass. If you're going through a bad situation now, you're going to have good times again. And I want to remind people that these mortgage rates are not going to stay down forever. It's going to pass. Home values are not going to stay up forever and appreciate at this rate. It's going to pass. So you need to have a team of people that are going to set you up now for success in the future, because whatever you're going through now, this will not stay the same. Rates will not stay this low forever. Rates are going to go up. Home appreciation is not going to continue at this rapid pace. It's going to level off. And if you're going through a divorce, you're going to go through good times soon enough. But the important part is right now, you've got to set yourself up for success. So I don't know why people are waiting to lock in on mortgage rates. They're not going down to zero. As a matter of fact, Harvey, my bet is they're going to start going up within the next, between now and the next 9 months. That's my bet. But again, I'm a downside risk manager because I want everybody to take advantage of low rates.
Yeah, here, even when we talk about mortgage rates bumping up, right, maybe another 0.5% up over, it's still going to be an unbelievable opportunity, but take advantage now. Again, if you're going to be maybe considering buying a house this year, of course, it seems like you're all out there trying to get a hold of these very, very low interest rates. But if things do bump up next year, the year after that, the appreciation in the house should be there, but you won't see, Mike Tomcyzk, you can comment it, probably not appreciation at this type of rate. Government's announcing National Association of Realtors, even probably something like 9% appreciation in 2021 on the average.
Yeah, it's mind blowing. You cannot count on this kind of appreciation for two reasons. Number one, and most importantly, you're going to price everybody out of the market. I mean, at some point you hit equilibrium and then you're past it. And now all of a sudden you have a bunch of buyers that can't afford to live in the homes. So at some point there has to be a correction. It has to plateau at some point. I actually thought we're already there. I was right about that, but it's definitely not going to keep going up. But on that note, by the way, I know that some people buying homes are very disappointed with the appraisals and appraisers. You know who's very happy? People that are refining their homes. Okay, they're finding that there's the value in their homes is way more than they had thought, and they can pull cash out, of course, but they can get rid of PMI, things like that. So there is the flip side to it as well.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Homes are looking to appreciate maybe 9%. The median home price in the country, $323,900. Hopefully that doesn't go much higher, right? We could start overpricing things. Then our first-time home buyers can't get into home ownership. They're fighting against trying to get these houses against every investor in town. And again, on the lender end, we don't want to hear cash offers. We lend money for a living, and it's super, super low interest rates. But we have found out through a couple previous real estate agents, Harry, we had some top-notch agents on. They said a lot of these so-called cash offers, they're finding out 3-4 weeks later into the transaction that, they are applying for a mortgage. At the end of the day, if you're a seller and you sold for $400,000, it's $400,000. And again, Harry, you and I go to a lot of closings. I know you were rolling into one yesterday. No one wheels in with a bag of money, okay? The Wells Fargo truck or whatever Brinks truck doesn't pull up. There's no cash being exchanged. there's cashier's check, there's wiring of money, and there's title insurance. This is a huge point. Title insurance. What do you mean you're buying a house cash for $350,000? For sure, you got title insurance, and check to see who's the owner of the house. If the house is free and clear of all liens? Are there any outstanding assessments? If you're not doing those things, Harry, then you're going to get yourself in a ball of trouble, and you're going to need all sorts of attorneys to bail you out of it.
Well, when you hear the term, or a realtor hears a term, or a buyer here, or a seller hears a term, cash offer, automatically it's a trigger mechanism. All of a sudden, oh, maybe we don't need an appraisal, or maybe it's going to take a shorter period of time, or maybe that, somebody isn't going to get rejected for a mortgage, or this or that. It's really nothing. Okay. Like you said, Harvey, nobody's rolling up to the closing with a bag full of cash. It doesn't happen that way. Now, to be clear, there are cash offers going in, and people are wire transferring money and getting deals done in less than 2 weeks. Yes. Is that the norm? Absolutely not. So what you're saying, and what the realtors are telling us that we have on our show, and our realtor partners are saying, it seems that there are cash offers that really aren't, that people are after the fact. It's a mechanism to get the offer accepted, and then they turn around and they put a mortgage on the transaction. That, you know what? In reality, that's what's happening on some of the transactions.
Fair enough. Let's move off to a quick caller here. We're running out of time. Mike out there. Good morning, Mike. You purchased a condo. Go ahead with your question. Okay. Well, if you're just going to do a rate and term refinance, you can go get a conventional mortgage to do that, to pay off the land contract. If you're looking to pull cash, pay off the land contract, and pull equity out, you would have to get an FHA mortgage to do that. So as long as you're doing a rate and term, FHA, that condo would have to have be FHA approved, or we'd have to do a spot approval on it, or what they call now, it's a little bit different terminology now. The type of mortgage you get to pay that off could be a little tricky. The unit itself, now it's a separate parcel number and everything. To explain the unit itself. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no problem at all. No, you can do it right away, but you want to show proof of any payments that you have made on that, because it is a mortgage, and we'll have to show proof of payments and the money that you put down. A little bit of paperwork. And I'll tell you what, Mike, because we're up against the end of the show, I'll call you right after and get you all set up. We'll send you a nice email and show you what you can do to get that mortgage all handled and get that land contract paid off. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that. I'm glad he brought up land contracts, because a lot of you out there do have those land contracts. Hurry and call Capital Mortgage Funding. Get that land contract paid off now, while these interest rates are at all-time lows. And definitely, if you're looking to pay off some debt, you can do that with an FHA mortgage. So find out how you can pay off your land contract holder and pull equity out of the house and put a new roof on there, and really move forward with your life, and maybe even consolidate some debt. Hey, guys, just final thoughts if you want to roll with it. Hey, Brent, real quick, you go ahead and get the last word.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Harvey. Definitely. Yeah. The thought I've got is divorce. Basically every divorce is creating a new buyer on a home, right? Because people are living together. Now someone's leaving, and it's a whole morass. You want advice early, get an expert, get good legal advice, get good mortgage advice, make sure what you think is a plan is actually going to be a doable plan. It creates issues with moving out, and should I move out? And is that going to be abandonment? And people get real worried about that, which is, for good reason. You can move out, you got to do it the right way. And then where are you moving to, right? You don't want to stay with mom. That's no fun. So it's a whole, this world fits real good together with divorces for us of what to do with these houses. It's a big issue, and we want it done the right way.
All right. More love and bliss out there. That's Adam, Brent Bowyer from ADAM, our American Divorce Association for Men. And we appreciate you being on the show. Hey, we got to wrap up real quick. Mike Tomcyzk, we'll say thank you to you. And we'll see you soon, Mike, out there in the Tri-County area. You'll see him out there.
Believe it.
All right.
Thanks,
Mike
guys.
Tomcyzk,
Thanks for having me on.
Appraiser, one of the great appraisers out there. And for Harry Glantz, he's going to sign off. I'm Harvey Freed. We've got sports coming up. That's right. Thanks for keeping it here. Call Capital Mortgage for all your mortgage needs and real estate needs. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Pat Caputo coming up with sports, social commentary. And by the way, we had a great draft. He'll tell you all about it. Keep it here.